bit of what I call kind of like prototyping, I guess. Um, I'm making some parts out of scratch for a couple things. My 5T, and I had some 24 scale stuff I'm still working on. I did finish the 5T stuff though, so let me show you what I got here. So this is more along the lines of what I'm going to be doing most of the winter. Since it's too cold to really get outside, I got a lot of stuff over here that I'm going to be kind of going over and making parts for, maybe finishing up the builds. I've got a couple of them here. I got this one right here, which is an 18th scale, my little bastard one. I have another Orlando Hunter right there. That's the truck model. I haven't even put that one together. I have a 24 scale there. I still have my Savage that I got to finish up. And I think I'm pretty well done on the shredder. It looks pretty good, and I need to get a test run on that one before it gets real cold if I can. But everything's looking pretty good, so yeah, I'm going to be switching over to doing more of this here. I originally did not like the Tinkercad at all, but it's kind of growing on me. It's a nice little program, so I've got a decent little setup down here to work with now, so I'm going to be doing more with it and giving a little play on a bunch of stuff here. I've got another one that I've been working on as well. Blender does some stuff that I really enjoy. So on Blender here, you kind of draw and stuff in it a little bit differently. And it's more of an advanced program, but you have more options. So once I learn how to do more stuff in here, I'm probably going to be using this more often, but for right now, it's a little advanced for me. So we're going to stick with Tinkercad for now. Okay, this is my Tinkercad drawing here. And as you can see, it's pretty basic, nothing special here. So basically, I just created a little tab with a couple of slots here for the screw hole. So that's all I really need for the sway bar to fit in there and not have any issues, with it coming out. The only thing that I would say here is the thickness on this. It's something that you'll have to play around with if you're going to do stuff like this. For me, I'm starting off with what I got here. I think I was looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of like 4 millimeters or something. This is what I'm going to try for mine to kind of see where things are at. I want to do a little bit of testing with this and find out if this is really what the way that I want to go with it. And if it's not, basically what I'm going to do is I will thicken it up, maybe change the eyelets for the holes closest to the center of the piece. Right now it looks like one side's a little offset a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell until it actually gets printed, and I'll probably end up rounding off the edges at some point so it doesn't catch on things. But again, this is just prototyping stuff, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. Okay, so basically I'm going to show you a little bit about how I did this. It's very simple. So let me get some stuff over here and kind of give you a little bit of idea what I'm doing here. So like I was saying, I was looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 millimeters. This shows 2. Okay, maybe I was off a little bit, but as you can see, here's my measurements, and it's nothing that's too terribly hard. If you want a tutorial on how to use Tinkercad, you will have to look for it elsewhere. I'm not real good at it. But I can basically thumb my way around. As you can see here, that's got your basic dimensions and stuff on here. The piece itself is about 20 long. This should be in millimeters anyway. It's about 6 tall and about 2 wide. So the math part that I had to do here is I had to figure out what these holes were. And it's pretty simple. You just do the diameter and the area. Again, you can look for your own way to do it. I don't want to tell somebody my math part here because I'm not real good at it, to be honest with you. I went to school for this stuff a long time ago, but
You know, things change so much, and there's always better ways coming out. So I don't want to give somebody else my bad habits here. This is a pretty basic, rudimentary type way to do it. So basically, this is how I did it. I started off with a square, and I just kind of pulled it around, pulled it down, and then I sucked it in here to kind of get the right thickness and height. Just got to kind of play around with it a little bit here. As you can see, it's really simple to make this here. And I'm going to pull this down again. And I get it all lined up. So right now I'm way too high by 2.5, so I got to pull it down some. My length is fine. So we got to pull it down to about right there. That's about 6. Okay. So that's your basic shape. And then we're going to take this cylinder here and we're going to pull it down as well. See how this works? So basically what you're doing here in a nutshell is you kind of get your basic shapes, you get the basic dimension of them, and then you fit them with whatever your math worked out to be. At least that's the way I did it. I know somebody will probably tell me, hey, you can go from this corner, XYZ, 0.0, whatever, and you'll go over here based on this equation, blah, blah, blah. That's great. Like I said, I don't do this for a living. This is something that I just kind of play around with. I went to school for it, so I know my way to kind of thumb around a little bit. That's about it. I know just enough to get by with what I got. So I'm always learning more, and I don't have a problem learning. But, you know, again, guys, I'm not a professional here, so this is just, you know, my way that I did it. So basically, I'm just going to let this kind of play. I'll chime in on anything that I see. Anything that I see that you know, I might need to point out here. So this is my replay of when I made this here. So I just kind of wanted to show you how easy this was to just make the basic shape and structure. And as you can see here, boom, that's all you do. And a couple things that I will say here. So once you get everything all lined up, you got to turn your circle pieces or cylinders or whatever they call them. You basically have to turn them invisible. I'll show you how to do that here in just a minute. So once you get them all somewhat lined up, I get a little measurement on here in just a minute. So this is me just kind of fooling around with it, trying to be a little bit of a perfectionist, you know, without being a pro. I keep saying that, guys. I know people probably get a little aggravated with that, but I just have to let everybody know that I don't do this a lot, so it's not something that's secondhand to me. So, you know, some of the things that I do might take a little bit longer. I might come to a different conclusion, a different way, blah, blah, blah. It's okay. You know, it doesn't matter. As long as it works, it works, right? Who cares? So this is my basic rudimentary kind of way of doing things. And it also keeps me kind of grounded too, because I'm a very hands-on kind of person. So when I can see it this way, it really helps me out. So hopefully somebody's like me and will see a video like this and be like, oh, okay, there you go. Maybe I'll try it this way. That's the only reason that I put stuff like this together the way that I do, because I know that there's other ways to do it that's probably easier and better and quicker and all these other things, maybe more exciting, whatever. But for me, this is the way that I usually learn on things like this. Just jump in, kind of make a few mistakes, move it around, try some stuff out, and then I get the general idea of how things work. And for example, on this piece here, this is one of my first pieces for the Losi 5T. Since then, I've already went to designing 2 other pieces. One of them is an arm, and one of them is a skid plate. I may end up scratching both of them because I'm really just kind of practicing. But I did some stuff off of memory, and I'm already making some angles and airflow pieces that would go underneath the skid plate and stuff that I don't normally do. Now this is where I'm saving it here. So this is actually going to be for the 3D. So this is what it looks like in the Cura before you get ready to 3D print it. So yeah, I'll have to show you the other models later on when I get them completed. And my whole point behind that was I was just kind of jumping into something a lot more advanced. And I already can, kind of thumb my way around that. So that's why I start the way that I do, and I do things kind of how I'm doing them, because to me it makes sense to start off that way. So, it's just my way of doing it. So hopefully somebody can understand that.
Okay, so this is my 5T that I've been working on. Basically got a new tray and stuff for it, which I could have printed that. That come in a kit with another tray that I needed, so I just went ahead and bought that. And I have a bend in my shaft here. I'll be fixing that here soon too. But anyway, back to what we were doing here. So this is what we got. As you can see, I got two of them here. The sway bar mounts, didn't come on this truck here. And I could have made them rounded, make them look a little bit better or whatever. But there's, who cares? It's probably going to break off of here eventually when I get to running on it hard. So eventually I'll make them, a little bit nicer. I was thinking about maybe putting them on my Etsy shop, because I don't like the fact of you spending $30 or whatever the hell this thing costs to buy a couple mounts. So maybe I'll put them in a bag full of like, 2 or 3 sets or something, and charge $2 or $3 or whatever. Something reasonable. And that way people's got an option to where they can buy silly little things like this without having to spend a fortune to get an entire kit that you don't need. So, so far it looks really good. I got a couple other things that I want to be doing on this. I'm working on some stuff for these guys right here. I haven't really gotten very far on it, so I'm not going to really go into it today, but basically I got a lot of stuff here that I'm working on this barrage, trying some things out. See if maybe I can make a better system for the belt drive. So far it's not really successful, so we're going to leave that one alone for right now, and we'll take this one as a win here on the Losi. So hopefully that holds up. It looks like it will. And like I said, I might make it a little bit thicker right here as far as the thickness goes. And I might round off the edges just to, make it look better. But, I mean, you can pull on this pretty good and it's not going to come out of there. The sway bar is pretty much just needs that area there. This is where you get most of your strength from. This just keeps it from popping out. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. And like I said, we're going to have more stuff like this coming up. So anything that you haven't seen, or maybe you want to know how to do something, 3D print, you want to know how to design something, whatever, I'm an open book. Maybe I'll even design it for you. I have no problem doing that. I have some decent skills, but I'm not like top of the line here. So I actually went to school for a lot of this stuff, so I know quite a bit about what I'm talking about, but I don't know everything. So especially using the newer programs, it's something I have to kind of reteach myself. So but it definitely comes in handy when I'm making, my 3D parts and stuff for, like the 120 or the WL Toys car that I'm building from 3D print. So, once again, I appreciate everybody watching, and hope you like it.